watching it this year.
Oh.
So I spend a lot of time on my bike and training for races.
Mm-hmm.
So I need something to occupy my eyeballs for like hours on a bike.
Perfect.
So I feel like I really who do I owe an apology to
For not watching.
for just getting into that show now.
I was the same way, no interest when it came out. Finally watched it because there was nothing else to watch.
Yeah.
And 5 people.
3.
3.
3.
All right, and now,
Yes.
It works for me.
I like the time, Alex.
Oh, thank you.
You guys?
You need some help?
we may, I think, I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay.
I've never had to do that.
No, I can't.
I appreciate it. Mary won't mind if we miss a minute or two.
Last time she had to watch the video presentation.
Well, I'm glad that she had it to watch.
She's a problem
Yeah.
solver.
Did you get it?
All right, and record.
Oh,
There we go.
I was hitting the wrong button.
Yeah, it's the red one.
Red is go and green is stop then.
Yeah.
There you go. Awesome. So I'm so sorry for the delay. We just were trying to get all the technical stuff started. At the time is now 7:01. Would like to bring our Board of Health meeting to order.
Well done.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. In attendance, we have Marty Golightly, we have Chris Schultz, we have Alex Haggerty, Linda is excused, and Terry, I don't know if Terry's coming in. Do you guys want to come in?
Come on in.
Come on in, have a seat, make yourselves at home. And myself, Susan Emery, and we do have some guests in the audience. Welcome, guests. So the first thing on the agenda is the board vote for the Pledge of Allegiance. Did you ask for this?
Yeah, so I asked for this. I thought, so the Board of Selectmen and the school committee do the Pledge of Allegiance before every meeting. I just think as a nice gesture, we should do that. Just something,
I think it's, I'm not opposed to it. We've never done it before. There's not a flag in this room, but I've been at Rotary meetings, and what we do is we just imagine the flag is in the corner of the room. But I'm wondering where we have only 3 members. And I guess this would be more of a question. Do you think that we should put this till we have a full board? Or?
Yeah, we could definitely do that if everyone's more comfortable with putting it to a full board instead of what we have now.
Well, is there a motion on this right now, or are we just?
Well, I, from what I understand, and I've been boning up on my duties here, is mostly I just bring move the agenda forward. I guess somebody would have to make a motion, but
I'll make a motion for us to do the Pledge of Allegiance at the start of every meeting.
Motion to postpone.
that being the case, I think it'd be best to postpone.
I'm okay with that.
All right. Moving forward, July and August, we only have 1 meeting each month. That's our summertime rules. Most boards take a little time off. I think we do the same thing roundabouts December. So we'll ask Mary to put this on, or we'll remind Mary as well to put this on. I think that's a better way to handle it.
Oh, no, I
Alex.
agree with, yeah.
Yeah, not that we knew when we started. So then we would be putting our next item on the agenda is for the board to vote for Alex Haggerty to be appointed liaison to the Abington Substance Awareness Coalition. I would be in favor of this. It would be some extra work for you, Alex. But as I just stated, being the chair, somebody else would have to make that motion, and I think that would have to be Chris, because to appoint
Yes,
you.
that's-
Yeah.
Yes.
I am absolutely supportive of that. I think it's a great idea. I question whether we need to vote on that. I don't know that, and I'm not sure. I don't know that that's appropriate for this body to vote on. But since I have no
Would you
objection-
want to have to have a full board for it?
No. I'm just saying. I think you can do that without a vote by the board, because it's not a regulation. So why would we vote?
You would have my support.
Oh no, it's just like even when yeah, never mind.
Yeah.
No, but
I think making it. I mean, this is just not a board member.
Okay.
Yeah.
Health agent input.
All right. Yeah, I'm open.
I think it would be important to maybe formalize someone into that role, just so that there is a single point of contact
Right.
for
Makes sense.
anything coming and going in that arena. That way, if I get some correspondence or some direction, I can just push it to Alex,
I can see that
and
that
then
would
he can
be, yeah.
and he can tree it out to everybody else.
Right.
If I had a preference, and if I was, I think a single point of contact is probably the way to go.
Yeah.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah, and I completely agree with that.
Right.
If we think it needs to be a vote, I would motion to postpone until we have.
Okay. Yeah.
But for the record, Alex, I'm completely supportive of it. If we're gonna vote, you got my vote. But.
I am too, and we've spoken about this a little bit before, about how we as a board don't have any regulatory authority over opioids or arresting people or anything. But as I've said to you, is sometimes we have our resources can help.
In the meantime, I would like, if there's a problem with this, please let me know. In the meantime, for anything opioid going forward, I'm still going to push it to Alex until it's formal.
I think that would be great.
I approached the Abington Substance Awareness Coalition on Monday when they had their meeting, and I asked them. You know, I learned all about them, what they're doing, and how they're getting involved in the community. And I did ask them how could I be the liaison for the board? You know, bring their message to us. And they unanimously approved me to be the liaison, and now it just needs to go. That's why I put it on the agenda to put it here.
Absolutely. Well, and I don't think there's anything wrong with in the interim of us having, because it is going to seem like sparse between our next meeting, which I think is in the middle of July.
Yes.
In the interim, well, and I am aware of the fact that there's a lot that happens, like, what do they say, in the first 100 days of summer, that a lot of things happen. And if we were to need this position to be filled, then you would be the person to go to it.
Yeah.
Okay, then I rescind my motion to postpone, and I move that we appoint Alex.
Okay. Excellent. So we have a motion to appoint Alex, and I'm going to second that motion. And then we would vote. All those in favor of appointing Alex, the liaison to the Abington Substance Awareness Coalition, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. I hear no nays. So that would be 3. And Linda and Terry, of course, aren't here to them. And actually, I do see on our agenda here, the minutes that I have not passed down, and the vouchers that I also have not passed down. Would you mind passing one of those down to Chris?
Sure.
Thank you.
All right, so was that approved?
That was approved. So we do have a vote for Alex Haggerty to be our Abington Substance Awareness Coalition liaison. And I'm very proud to have been a part of that.
Oh, well, thank you, and thank you, Chris, and
I know you'll do
Thank
a
you,
good
Marty.
job, Alex.
Thank you, Susan.
I really
Yeah,
do.
I just realized we had a majority here anyway, so
Yeah.
we might as well.
We do, right?
That would have been in support of it, so.
And if we're in error, then somebody will tell me, and I'll apologize.
Oh, they
no, we're good. I checked the laws.
You signed it, you've already seen it.
I appreciate
Yes,
those.
I can explain.
Yes. So next up, we have voucher discussion. So with the voucher discussion, Marty's signed the vouchers, and I have a temporary, I can't see in the middle of eye surgery. They just did this eye, they didn't do this eye. So I can't read that kind of small type. So I haven't been looking at vouchers. I will. I did ask if we could make the print bigger, and I should bring it upon myself to bring in a magnifying glass, but I know that there's only, well, there used to be, there was only 3 signatures necessary on them, but that has changed. But that does bring us to the voucher discussion that I asked to have on. And I was going to ask, because we do have a little hiatus here coming up, that all the board members do look at the charter, because the vouchers don't have to come to the meeting.
Oh, cool. Me too.
And if there's ever a reason why you think that they shouldn't come to the meeting, this would be more in the lines of it's going to violate somebody's privacy. Maybe the town had to, I don't even want to go into the what ifs, but there may, because as I was looking through the charter and I was, asking different people up here, well, why would you do this and why wouldn't you do that? The suggestion was made to me that there might come a time that there was a circumstance where a person's privacy was going to be exposed by bringing the vouchers to the public meeting. So I just wanted everybody to look at that. Because we can go to the office and look at the vouchers.
Public record. Anyone can come to the office and ask us about our vouchers.
They all are.
Right.
Is that all right, so that's the way it is.
So I did that to streamline.
Yes.
So I'm, me, I don't like printing, I like just get it done, right?
Yeah.
Let's just get it done. So that was simply done to streamline, because that's how the selectmen do it, that's how, and it made administrative sense.
Mm-hmm.
Now, bringing up the vouchers for the public record, that's just, yeah, I mean, that's of course, no big deal, right? Here you
Okay.
go. But you're right. Just like I would, just with like a complaint or a restaurant,
Right.
anything that would violate any person's personal identifiable information, I wouldn't do that. So you have no worry there. I won't do that.
And I wasn't suggesting that you would. I was suggesting that you were trying to protect that. And I'm on board with that.
Nailed it.
And if it comes up, I don't know what the circumstance would be, but if it did come up, I would trust your judgment to say to the board, I don't want to handle this way.
If
And
that did come up, I would say I would put the expenditure on a piece of paper and put like private next to it, and if there were specific questions, I could be as broadly public. You know what I mean? Like I
Yep.
could speak, or I could dance around without you have
Right.
to trust me, and this is why I have to do it this way without actually giving any information.
well, and that's what a lot of people don't understand is what we're dealing with is a lot of personal things. Like even if somebody, has a sewer problem, for somebody to some unscrupulous person to just call up and say, oh yeah, we're going to take care of this, your sewer problem. The Abington Board of Health contacted me. And then they would say, oh great, the Abington Board of Health did. But no, it's just some person that watched 28 minutes on TV, So, I don't want that to happen to our Abington residents either.
Yes.
My default is do what's best for the town.
Yes.
That's like my default. And then we'll move forward or backwards from there. But
Absolutely. So that was what I wanted to have about the voucher discussion. I do recommend that if you need a good nap, that you look at the charter, because I slept a lot last week reading that charter. Okay, next, moving on, is temporary food events, past and future. We did just this past, had that, not last weekend, but the weekend before. There was the Abington Celebrates event, and I perused a couple of events. I saw Alex there. I saw Chris, but Chris didn't see me because I was at the Civil War encampment. I was kind of happy to not see the food trucks down there because they didn't really have enough time to get their stuff in.
well, so no more than 30 days from the event, right?
Well, there is a
And
opening for 14.
15 minutes or 15 days. So if someone comes to me and they say, hey, I know I made a terrible mistake and I'm late, my default will be, let's do what's best for the town. However, I will not let that be abused either.
I hope so, because there are some other things that get kicked off with the temporary food permit, and one of them is Corey and Sorry checks. And with this event, not with the food trucks, but with this event, there were some vendors that weren't Corey to Sorry that had to be turned away because that wasn't satisfied, and I do believe that all Abington residents are deserving of those people that are interacting with their children, quite possibly, to have that level of scrutiny. I know it's not a perfect world, and I know people can lie, and I hate that. But I like the idea that we try to do the best that we can. And that's just my feelings about that.
I agree with you.
I'm perfectly okay with it. Just like, if someone comes in and they want a food permit, and I can crowbar it into my schedule,
Sure.
and it's less than a day away, great. You just hit the lotto for food permits. But like, there are some times when, especially if someone comes in and all their ducks are in a row.
Mm-hmm.
They come in with all their proper paperwork, everything signed. They have everything. Boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, this is awesome. You're awesome. I can be there tomorrow. and I hope, it is my sincere hope that everybody's like that.
Right.
Not reality, but it's a great hope.
I don't ever want to say I'm not a never say never kind of gal, but I just like the other things to get taken care of too that aren't our department, but because there's a temporary food permit pulled, then the other departments start to look.
We
All right. Did you guys get a chance to look at the minutes?
Yes, I did.
Was there anything that you objected to in the minutes?
Just one thing on the food permits.
Mm-hmm.
This is incredibly nitpicky.
It is an incredibly nitpicky topic.
Can we get rid of the Comic Sans font on the permits? Nobody uses Comic Sans.
What's Comic Sans?
Okay, so I didn't realize it was Comic Sans, so this is new to me. Yes. For the 2018 permits at the end of the year, they'll be on a better font.
What's Comic Sans?
It's a type of computer font when you print out. Like this is probably Calibri.
Oh.
So Comic Sans is like it's a
My
big,
grandson talks about Comic Sans.
It's a big, it's a big faux pas.
He's
right?
6.
It's a big no.
It's big in his world.
Yeah, it's only the Abington part of it that's in Comic Sans. And I was like,
Is it really? And we'll be talking about.
Good catch.
Awesome. Did you guys get a chance to look at the minutes? Did you both have any ideas of do we have a motion to approve the minutes? I looked at them at home.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
And I will also vote. So we have 3 votes to approve the minutes of 6-4. Does anybody say voting against it? I don't hear anybody voting against it. So the 3 members present all vote for the approval of the June 4th minutes, and that should be done. The health agent's report, we're moving right along.
Just before, I think you have to sign.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you very much.
Yes.
Yes, I
Just wanted to
will
make
do
sure.
that. I bring a black pen because that's what yes. Good catch. And let me just say, I accept any and all help and suggestions.
Oh, Dad.
I am new to this, and it's a little uncomfortable for me.
Hey, we all work together.
That's the way I look at it. Yeah, we've had this conversation. It is amazing how you just get 5 random people elected at random times with random skill sets, and it all just works. Alrighty, so these will go back into that blue folder. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So, all right, so that was, and we all saw the health agent's report. Was there anything, I didn't see any trends. Was there anything noteworthy?
So one, I didn't want to write it down as a trend, but it's the first day, it's the first week of summer. Mow your grass.
Okay.
Mow your grass. Ticks are a big problem. Mosquitoes are a big problem, please. And there's going to be an uptick in, see what I did there?
Uptick.
In those kind of problems. So please, I implore you, take care of your lawns.
Yes, because people call the office.
Yeah, and I, my first line of defense against that is a friendly phone call,
Mm-hmm.
and then it gets more formal from there.
Sure. We I shared a link on my Facebook page that the Plymouth County does mosquito spraying
For free.
for free.
Good luck
Yes.
getting them on the phone, but they do it for free.
Yes, they do. It's one of those things. Not everybody is for it. Some people have their own reasons for being against it. The mosquito spraying that they do does not get rid of ticks, but I do like to disseminate the information. And I didn't have a chance to get a hold of you at the time, so and it had a short window. I think the window closes at the end of June for the request for the mosquito spraying. I think I shared it with a couple of people. But yeah, so I thought that was important. And it's on the Department of Public Health website, so it's not like it's hiding anywhere.
And that's really all I had. Still catching up on food inspections and facility inspections, and I don't anticipate being caught up until...
7 months is a long time.
Yeah, it's going to take me a little while.
Right.
So please.
And I saw that you, because Island Grove opens,
Yep.
and that's an addition to your plate.
Yep, went out there today.
Yeah, how did that, because when we were there, they had it all emptied,
Yeah.
so.
Yep, it's on its way. It's well on its way.
Good.
They are in good hands. Parks and Recs, they're in good hands over there.
Excellent.
Good. And I think there's only like one other pool in town, but
Two.
there are two.
Yeah, Avana and Woodlands.
Oh, okay, yep, good, so, yeah, and that adds to your plate too, just in the
pools are easy.
summertime. Yeah, it's a little chemical probably.
Yeah, oh, my thing is, that's just cleverly disguised math, and I love me some math. So.
Oh, good. Very good.
I'm weird.
Alrighty. So that was the health agent's report. It looks like because we already had a light schedule, I did want to, next time I'm going to want to talk about one of the regulations. We have 3 regulations that we're going to have to look at. The workplace smoking regulations and e-cigarettes and vape, they kind of go hand in hand. And of course we're going to have to do marijuana regulations. But I've been following that on the state level, and that is moving slower than a snail's pace. As a matter of fact, they have nothing for us yet.
Yeah.
So,
No one's been approved.
No.
right, even the 28 that we had, and no banks are working with them either. So, so it is going to have to be in a ways, but we probably won't get to it realistically till September. I don't think that the state's going to get anything for us till September, but if they do,
As
Yeah.
soon as I know, you'll know.
thank you. Yeah. But if they do, we'll have to get right on
Yeah.
it.
I mean, they've got an outline of what they want to give us, but other than that, it's pretty much it.
Right, but we
There's
do
nothing
need more than
concrete.
an outline.
Yes. Oh, I know we do.
What are your thoughts, Chris? Did you have any thoughts on, or have you done any research on any of the Cannabis Commission and all of that?
No thoughts at the moment.
Put it on the
Just
agenda
watching
for
it.
next week.
Yeah, well, and I do. I think like our next one, I'm going to ask for one of the, and probably the workplace tobacco regs to be on, just so we can start to cut our teeth a little bit on some regs that have been established. And I think it might help, especially the new guys, to get a
Yes.
little, to cut your teeth on something that might not, because I don't, well, it's just the marijuana is just such a, don't know anything.
Well, with the smoking regs, with the workplace,
Yes.
if we're taking the time to look at all that stuff, I was just reading today, the state's looking to move the age of tobacco purchase to 21.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to maybe look at all our regs and
We
there's this
we can.
18.
I don't have a problem with that. We did just do that, and we voted to stay at 18.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well,
This
I
town-
don't want
this town did.
Yeah.
to retread
Yeah.
something. That's fine.
We have in our community a lot of military, and I think the general consensus, if I could paraphrase, and just I kind of agree too. If you can go over to Germany or someplace else and do this, you can buy a cigarette. I'm not a smoker.
I'm a 25-year smoker. I just quit 6 months ago, so. Yeah.
Oh,
Did
congratulations.
you? Good for
Yeah,
you.
I don't have an
It's a
agenda
tough
here.
Yeah.
So smoked. Yeah, so
Oh my goodness.
I'm done now.
I hate cigarettes.
Well, congratulations.
Awesome, Chris.
Would anybody object if I ended this part of the meeting and we got to the speaker a little early?
I wouldn't object.
I don't want to pressure, but it's a little bit earlier than we had planned for the speaker to begin. Would you mind jumping in
I'll do whatever you like.
a few
Yeah.
minutes early?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking like 5 minutes, but I also don't want to pressure if you need that extra
Yeah.
time.
No, it's okay.
All right. So what I would like to do at this point is, I think that we would require a motion to adjourn
Yes.
this portion of the meeting.
Yes.
Does anybody want to make that motion?
I'll make that motion.
Excellent. Does anybody want to second that motion?
I suppose I'll second it.
Excellent. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? No? All right. So that will adjourn this portion of the meeting. Mr. Barnes, Barnes, correct?
Rich.
Rich, awesome. So we are on tape right now.
Okay.
When we're on tape, it goes to throughout the Abington community. Was that your intent?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Sure.
Excellent. Well, you probably would reach more of a viewership.
Is it going live right now?
No.
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 Okay.
No, it goes on YouTube. It probably takes like 2 days for it.
Did we, are we adjourned?
We are.
Yes.
I'm gonna get the stuff out of the way then.
Oh, all
Awesome.
right. I'll get the
Awesome.
stuff out of the way.
And I don't know if I should shut off the thing for Mary too.
Yes, because if not, we have to make his speech a matter of public record.
All right. All right. Well,
Yeah, that's why we had to adjourn the meeting first.
yes. I understand.
But we're gonna keep the tape on. So we can-
Okay.
Sure, I'm so sorry, and I'm just because Red is
Oh,
Yes.
see how special you are.
Oh, I know. I said last one. Saved the
all
best.
right, and then
Okay.
we have this one.
Yeah.
And I suppose I probably should have paused the tape. And we'll let Justin decide if it goes on or not.
Oh yeah. Well,
Hey, anybody,
Yeah.
anybody have health agent questions before I take off? Sure. Mowing grasses, right? Mosquitoes, clean that up.
So we're gonna leave the camera on, but you'd have to come up here so that
All right.
you may
Yeah.
be seen.
we're very lucky to have Rich Barnes here today to talk to
Excellent.
us. You know, give us a little insight and
Excellent.
What we
Come
can learn.
on up.
Well,
Hi. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're here?
well, my name is Rich Barnes. I live in Bridgewater.
Mhm.
I'm in recovery from alcohol and drugs. I drank for 28 years, did drugs 21, and
Congratulations,
Oh,
by the way.
Thanks. I've been clean since 2006, and then what I do is I just try to just share my pain so no one has to go through it, and have a better understanding that people can't stop and do like the congratulations on you stopping smoking. It's an addiction, and you know we hear opioids and that's all we hear about, and there's a lot more than opioids. It's it's the alcohol, it's the cocaine, it's the methamphetamines. It's the weed, and I'm very grateful that weed is not coming around here. And a lot of towns are like cutting it and trying to prevent it. There's votes trying to prevent it from coming in their towns. And I live in Bridgewater, and we're fighting it like tooth and nail. And because believe it or not, there is something called the gateway drug, and there's a gateway drug for some, and there's not a gateway for others. Like someone can go out and have a couple beers and maybe smoke a joint and go home and go to sleep or have a function on a daily basis. But someone like me, I can't. I can't go have one drink because one will lead to 100, and I'll be back out in the streets. And but you know, all we hear about is the opioids, and unfortunately, that's the killer. The fentanyl and the carfentanil and the heroin and the other pills that are coming about and all that stuff. And it's just you know, what can we do as a cumulative group here? To these 8 people that are sitting here, what can we do as a cumulative group to make people more aware that these things are happening? And really, it starts off with children. I speak at schools wherever I can, and whatever I could do to. I mean, I spoke at Wareham High School last Friday. I have Plymouth South tomorrow. It's just whatever I can do to give back and whatever we can do, because unfortunately, you see the pink elephant flying around the room that no one wants to talk about. And it's called addiction. And it's taken a lot of people out. In Massachusetts, it's between 6 and 7 a day. And, it hurts to have someone die. I mean, I need 10 hands to count the friends and family, not family, but I call them family that I've lost from addiction, from heroin or fentanyl and all that stuff and no one thinks it's going to happen to them. And I see parents with their children that have passed away. I know so many of them. My heart breaks for them, because some didn't know or was naive to the fact. Some tried their best to help their children, and unfortunately it didn't work. Addiction is very, very strong. It's stronger than the love that we have for our children if we're full-blown in addiction. So my job is to spread awareness anywhere I can. Alex asked me to come here, and I left work early. I am seeing my daughter's softball game because I know there'll be another softball game, and me coming here tonight might reach one person, might have that one person understand that there is hope. I mean, this gentleman said he stopped smoking. Maybe someone will hear that's addicted to nicotine and realize, something, if he can do it, why can't I? One of the biggest cliches that I know is, why can't I? Well, why can't I stop drinking? Why can't I stop, smoking weed or doing cocaine or smoking crack or doing heroin? Why can't I? And then those self-doubt comes in our minds, and we got to realize, something, we're strong in that self-doubt. We're strong in the self-doubt. And that's just an addict. But I think really prevention really needs to start a lot earlier than I speak. I mean, the lowest I've ever spoken to was a 6th grade class maybe 2 weeks ago in Halifax. And the kids were very receptive. They want to know, I think if we need to curb the death toll or the people getting addicted, I believe we have to start in 1st grade. And we don't have to be blunt. We don't have to start talking about big things. But something? Smoking has gone down in children. And why? Because we teach them. We get the 2-liter bottle with the cotton, and we show them puffing the cigarette of the nicotine going in there in the tar, and we show them how bad it is. Why can't we do that with drugs and or alcohol? Mm-hmm. And gradually get up. And in that 1st grader, when he becomes a 12th grader, is probably more apt to not use than they would be if they didn't get educated.
Sounds like a great path.
But I don't have all the resources. I don't have the money. I'm just one soldier in an army, and we need more. We need more soldiers in the army to fight addiction and realize that something. Let me ask you guys a question. There's 8 of us here. How many of us 8 know someone who has a drug or alcohol problem? Okay, 7 of us. 7 out of 8. How many people know someone who died from it? All right, we got 7 out of 8. That's. I don't know how many percentages that is. 85% of the people here that
Big
know.
bunch.
Right. So I guess my question is this: why do people put their heads in the sand? Why aren't people talking about it more often? Why aren't people having meetings? I mean, I speak at meetings once in a while and coalitions.
I've seen you many times.
Yeah. I speak at coalitions, and they're not. I believe wholeheartedly that coalitions should have to have their meetings in a football field with stands, because guess what? How many parents are in Abington? I live in Bridgewater. There's thousands of parents. BR has 2,000 kids, not BR, but the whole Bridgewater system has over 2,000 children in it. I know for my children, I want to be informed. Even if I'm not in recovery, I want to be informed. I want to know, because I'd rather my children know from me, and just being a parent, not necessarily being in recovery, but being a parent, then I'd rather me tell them about alcohol and drugs than little Johnny who's pushing that pill on them and telling them, something, don't worry about your parents. It's okay to take this pill or smoke that weed. And we all know this, if you don't know, but 1 out of 4 children under the age of 18 who try drugs or alcohol will become an alcoholic or an addict. That is a staggering statistic. I point out when I speak at schools, I grab 4 people and I say, one of you will become an alcoholic or an addict if you try drugs. And that's a true statement. So I guess my question is, how can we educate people, more people? How can we get people to talk about it? How can we stop the embarrassment, the shame, the guilt, the remorse of people, or even their children? Oh, I don't want to talk about my child's an alcoholic or an addict. Well, guess what? I hid my alcoholism for 28 years. I hid my drug addiction for 21. I'm not going to hide my recovery. And the only reason why I stayed sick is because I hid. And when parents hide their children, or when we as addicts, active addicts, hide our addictions, we're not gonna make it out of there. And we need, and I believe also more addicts and alcoholics need to talk about their story, so the younger generation will have a better perspective of the pain they went through. I mean, I used to sleep on a bathroom floor 2 paper towels away from where people urinate because I didn't sleep for 3 days. And I'd be in my work in my suit and tie, and no one would know. And here I am with a closed door, sleeping on the bathroom floor, And that's where my addiction took me, and also almost suicide in 2006.
I'm so sorry.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, but I had to go through what I had to do to be right here.
Right.
So
I think you've touched a lot of people, though.
I try. I do whatever I can. And I think we all need to do that in some sort of way, shape, or form. And I don't know what it's going to take, but it's just going to take a large army to get together and get these people out in drones to say, something, let's stop addiction. Let's do whatever we can, And I'm not here to compare it to anything. I'm not here to say it's a disease or anything, because that starts confrontations. All I know is that addiction's killing people. Is it a brain disorder? Is it a disease? It's not for me to say. I'm not a doctor. I don't have a PhD. I have opinions, but my opinions don't matter to other people, so I'm not going to bring them. But a fact is, it's killing between 2,500 and 3,000 people a year in Massachusetts alone. So how do we curb that as a state? How do we curb it as the town in Abington? How do we curb it in Bridgewater? How do we curb that? And it's by speaking our voices and getting people that don't want to talk about it inside our army and say, something, it's time to talk about it. It's time to open up our hearts, let go of the judgment, the people judging us, because it doesn't matter what people think. It can't hurt me.
If you end up better for it.
The old saying, I've learned it when I was probably 5 years old, sticks and stones. I don't care what people think about me. It doesn't matter what people think about you, as long as we're doing the right thing day in and day out and doing whatever we can to prevent something from happening, a tragedy in a family. I don't want to hear one more parent burying their child. I don't want to hear it, because it's very sad. I have 2 kids, and all I think about is burying my kids, and I can't think about it. When I was back out there, when my daughter was 2.5 years old, that's being a parent didn't matter to me, because I always want to get that high. But I'll tell you, I have 2 children. One is 14, one's going to be 10 next month, and they're more important than me. They're the air that I breathe and the blood that goes through my veins, because I'm in recovery, and I realize how grateful I need to be, because I can lose it in an instant. And again, I think it's all about talking about it, talking about the elephant in the room, reaching out to whoever we can. Like Alex put it on Facebook, we're going to talk about opioids, and there's no one here. And it's publicized, and it needs to be, people need to get out of their closets and talk about it.
We're here.
I understand. Well, I didn't mean it like that. Please accept my apology.
We know.
I didn't mean that there's 8 of us sitting here. Why isn't there 800?
Yeah. Well, Board of Health meetings are notoriously.
Well,
it has nothing to do with
I definitely understand that.
We're working on that.
Right.
We are working on
guess-
making them a lot more interesting.
Even in coalition meetings, there's 30 people, 40 people.
I have seen you a couple of times, and along with other speakers, you're very powerful and very inspiring.
Well, thank you. I just I don't want anybody going down that road, and I'll do whatever I can to prevent them from doing it. I mean, my number's on my website, my phone number. They can call me 24/7. They can email me. Anybody. I put my number on Facebook. Whoever needs to talk, I'm there. I'm there because I care.
I'm so glad that there are people like you.
Well, I'm not the only one. There's millions of other people like me, that will help. So.
Well, I am very grateful for all that you do. I have seen you. I've seen you. I've been to a couple of these the East Bridgewater Hope events. I've been to a couple of coalition events. I don't remember. I've seen you here in Abington.
Yeah,
a couple of
I've been here in this building a couple of
times. Yeah, this thing is right downstairs.
Yeah.
Or they're saying upstairs. Yeah. So you went on the stairs, man.
Yeah. I'll go to any length. to spread awareness and educate whoever.
It is something that so wish we could do something, stop it.
I don't think we'll ever stop it because people are always going to be experimenting and people are always going to fall into that trap being pulled by addiction. But how do we curb it? And we curb it by spreading awareness and educating. And it's truly, I mean, think about this. My daughters, they leave the house at 7 o'clock in the morning and they don't get home till 4 o'clock in the afternoon. That's 9 hours.
Yeah.
They're sleeping 9 hours, that's 18, so they may be home 5 hours, okay? People in school with the weed, with the pills, with the booze are definite peer pressure people that can actively push on them.
Sure.
So I don't care how hard it is, we as parents need to educate our kids and sit them down. I mean, let's face it, sex, drugs, and rock and roll, we don't want to talk to our kids about any of that stuff that we're embarrassed about, and we have to. We have to talk about that stuff. Drugs and alcohol are going to kill them. We need to get that right up there in the open, and we need to be in the forefront with our kids instead of behind them on this epidemic that we're all facing. I drove through Pembroke the other day. I was so happy. I saw signs on people's doorway on their front lawns. If you need help from opioid addiction, call this number.
Oh,
Nice. And maybe, I don't know if Abington can do that or any town can do that,
That sounds like something.
Yeah, there's actually a national helpline, 1-800-662-4357 that you can reach out to, the Department of Health and Human Services.
Excellent.
And
I'll
I know,
from you,
and
Alex.
actually, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put it up. I'm going to give this to Marty and Mary and everything because I have a couple of links that I got off of the mass.gov about drug addiction after, what was it? Off the top of my head, the Chapter 55 of the Acts of 2015, which helped create more of an awareness of drug addiction and alcohol abuse and everything.
This is going to be your role now.
Well, yeah, well,
this
I
is
mean,
your baby. This is your
I'm on the
ad to wear.
coalition, so, you know.
Is Alex Pazanza still in there?
I believe so.
Good. Good guy.
Yeah, he is a good guy. I don't know if we're going to lose him or not. I want to, but I don't want to. I get selfish. I like to keep our people here, but I understand it's better to have them maybe work someplace else for us too. I don't know. So, excellent. Well, I can't thank you enough for coming.
Oh, my pleasure.
Gosh, it was so nice.
No, thank
So
you.
nice, so nice.
No, thank you, Rich.
Thank you,
No,
Rich.
no.
And thank you guys for coming too. I think I'm going to shut the camera off.
All right. Well, I'll just if you don't mind, I'd like to put my website out there in case anybody needs anything.
Absolutely, please do.
It's richfulthinking.com, and my phone number's on there, my email's on there. If you don't want to call, you can email me, and if you need help, I'll get you help. I'll do whatever I can to make sure that, if you have any questions about alcoholism or addiction, you can ask me whatever you need. I'm always available. So that's all I want.
Thank you
Thank you,
so much.
Rich.
I'm going to go shut that up, and I'm so glad that